2 for law of cosines, we've already discussed how to, or already shown you how to solve for a side when you have an angle and two sides set up in the way that they are in this triangle. Notice that angle is touching the two sides. We also looked at how to find an angle if you are given all three sides. Pick the largest one and solve for that first. And using, again, the law of cosines. So notice for both of those, in this case I had all three sides. And in this case I had an angle that touched two sides. So when to use which? Well, how to identify to use which? If you draw your picture and you have all three sides, actually you don't even have to draw the picture. If you have all three sides, or if you have two sides and the angle in between, just like we did for letter A up here, then you're going to use law of cosines. Any other combination, you're going to use law of sines. Now remember, with law of sines, we have to, anything else, when you draw your picture, if it's not three sides given or two sides and the angle directly between them, then you're going to use law of sines. But in using law of sines, you have to remember that if you have that side-side angle case, you have to be careful and you must check for possibility of two triangles. In solving, you may find that there is only one triangle, or you may find that there are in fact two triangles. So please pause the video, take a moment to draw these triangles and see if you can figure out whether you should use law of sines or law of cosines. And you can abbreviate that LOC for law of cosines or LOS for law of sines as you write down which one you think we should use. Alright, I drew my triangles a little differently than you, quite possibly. I know that when I initially drew A, I crossed it off because as I started to label the sides, I noticed something about it. I noticed that it was not side, 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 or side, angle, side, and so I knew that if it was law of cosines, I'd have to be careful of the side, side, angle case. In fact, this is what I have, side, side, angle, or angle, side, side when it's set up. Because of that, not paying attention to this angle, it would be possible to have two triangles. So I'd want to set this up and solve it that it could be zero solutions. It's possible when I solve I might find that out. Or one solution, or maybe that solution and this obtuse triangle as well. But since our 100-degree angle is here, if it is solvable, there will only be one solution. But I'm going to use law of sines to figure this out. So I set my triangle up this way and try to calculate it. Now some of you recognize that there will only be one or no solutions. We'd have to go through the steps to figure that out. Anyhow. Letter B, I have all three sides. I have no angles. Law of sines can only be used when you have at least one or two angles. Since I have no angles, this is side, side, side. Since it's side, 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 this is law of cosines. This one was side, side, angle, so it had to be law of sines. All right, so now when I come over here and look at this one, I hope I labeled this right. There's B, here's C, here's A. This is side, angle, side. When it's side, angle, side, we're supposed to use law of cosines. And the same thing over here. Here's, oh, A is 15 degrees, not 15 on the side. For this picture, I have two angles and a side. So this is actually angle, side, angle, because I have two angles, both of them touch the side. But even if it was angle, angle, side, or anything other than side, 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 or side, angle, side, I would be using law of sines. So that's how you can tell the difference. If you are given three sides or two sides and the angle touching, like this picture, then you use law of cosines. Anything else that is a non-right triangle, you use law of sines. Have a great day.